everyone, and welcome back to the velveteenduck. I have a quick announcement to make today because of the feedback from our viewers. There's now going to be subtitles available in English and Spanish for guide videos to support the international community playing Drakensang online. So hooray! Videos that have this feature will have the following little message pop up at the beginning of the video. Back on the topic of today's video. After I completed the last video on Dragan, I thought I was done with this event. But then I got a whisper from a viewer who requested that I make a guide for Battlegrounds since he was having some difficulty. So, Rakito, wherever you are, this video is made because of you. If you guys do have suggestions for future video topics, leave it in the comments below. To start, Battlegrounds can be easily assessed from Castle Ravencaw with an empowered Cursed Pearl. There are 4 main ways to obtain these: farming the 4 adjacent maps to Castle Ravencaw, event progress bars, daily quests, or the shop. As well, this map can only be accessed on Infernal I difficulty or higher and can only be tackled solo. If you die while on this map, you'll instantly fail the challenge. The only way to repeat it is if you re-enter the map. For the first completion of the challenge on a difficulty level, you'll get an achievement and a guaranteed Amulet of the Black Knight of the corresponding tier. If you decide to repeat the challenge on the same difficulty in the future, then the drop of the amulet is random. Upon entering the map, you'll see a skinny strip of land completely covered with the ceasefire effect, which renders this part completely useless, and a circular arena. The arena has 6 Black Knight commanders. These commanders stand silently and cannot be attacked until you hit the gong. The smart thing to do is to take this time to inspect all 6. Take a look at what enchantments they have so you get a sense of what to expect in the upcoming fight and how to deal with it. Enchantments themselves are a topic worthy of a whole video, so I'll be a subject I cover at a later date in greater detail. However, let's take a look at an example of one of these commanders so you understand the kind of analysis I do. This is the 3rd commander. His main enchantment is fire, meaning that he has a skill that will cause a fire explosion to appear in his vicinity. As a ranged character, I definitely want to stay away, or I might die. If I was playing a melee character, I also might want to stay away if my defenses aren't enough. Now looking at his other enchantments from left to right. Increased armor, increased damage, increased run speed, teleporter, and lastly, resistance to poison, lightning, fire, and ice. Based on this, I know this fight will be a long one. As well, I have to look out in case he decides to combo his skills, such as casting explosion and then teleporting on top of me. Therefore, the best course of action is to keep this guy stunned for as long as possible and keep interrupting his skills. Despite the fact that there are 6 commanders, they do not activate all at once. They will wake up with each wave. Each wave will also spawn some squires and possibly some other monsters such as archers and sprites. If you play a ranged class, I suggest using a skill to redirect aggro away, or you'll have to spend a lot of time dodging the incoming attacks. As well, I recommend leaving 1 monster alive at the end of the wave and picking up your loot using the control key to highlight it. The reason for this is quite simple. There is no force walk feature in this game, and if you misclick and pick up a piece of loot while you're trying to kite, but you end up dead, no amount of tears is going to restore this run. Once the 6 waves are done, the 7th wave begins immediately. 4 bad-tempered Black Knights with random enchantments will spawn, along with a variety of Black Squires. This is basically a repeat of the previous 6 waves, except you now have 4 Knights all at once, and you don't have the benefit of idle time to analyze the enchantments. The 8th and the final wave begins once a cold bluish wind covers the arena. A red skull will mark the location of the battle-wise Black Knight General on the minimap. He will spawn in a different location every time. He will come equipped with a variety of random enchantments. His basic attack is a swing of his 2-handed sword at melee range. His basic attack is not a single target attack skill, but a small area of effect in the shape of an arc. As such, if you have low defenses, stay at a distance. In order to compensate for his melee range, he has several gap-closing skills, including the Rage Jump and Charge. However, these skills have a limited range, so as long as you stay far away enough and use skills to slow down his movement speeds, you will be fine. If you stay at a distance for a long enough period, he will also toss a Groundbreaker at you. Beware! His Groundbreaker can travel nearly the entire length of the arena, so to dodge, you need to sidestep it, not move backwards. And if that wasn't hard enough, the General can also cast Dragonhide, which increases his defenses and makes him immune to effects such as slows, armor break, as well as taunt. The last thing of worthy note in the 8th wave are the blue meteors that are actually a zone effect. These fall rapidly, which makes it hard to try and dodge. However, these only fall if either you or your summons were to stray into the zone that I've highlighted in red. If you stay in the safe zone, which I've highlighted in green, no meteors will fall. I've explained all the basics of how this arena functions and tactics to use in the Battlegrounds. If you enjoyed this content, give it a thumbs up and subscribe. If you've been an avid follower of my other videos, you'll know that this last portion is usually where I put the uncut video of the original fight. However, this fight actually took me 20 minutes to complete on Infernal 4. I've therefore decided to speed up portions where it gets quite repetitive just to shorten it. If you guys want to see the original uncut video, please leave a comment below and I'll upload it in the next few days. And 80% crit rate. So, to begin, let's go in, let's take a look at these knights and see what they have. So we got an Ender Magic dude, he's going to shoot an Ender Magic orb. You want to try and put a summon between you and the orb or some kind of immunity. There's a small AoE, so don't stand directly behind whatever's taking the orb for you. Ice guy, okay. This is probably the easiest one to dodge because it's on the ground, like just stay away from it and you're good. Fire. You definitely want to keep him stunned or you're probably dead if he explodes while charging on you. Let's take a look at the next one. Ice again, that's not too bad. I'm at an elemental disadvantage, especially with these very tanky knights, but I'm not super worried about it. Fire, okay. Need to keep him stunned or I'm dead. And another fire one. Okay. Debating. Okay. They'll be fine. So, Ender Magic's the first one, so I actually don't need to cross that distance. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my Guardian out, trigger this, and get ready for the fight. I'll wait for him to come to me. Okay, Ender Magic Orb, killer, cast a new one. At this level, the Ender Magic Orb is dealing a ridiculous amount of damage, so unfortunately the poor Guardian always dies. Which is why I like having something to mind control, but of course that's when I kill it. Alright, the orb's gonna follow me. I'm gonna try and bring it to the Guardian and stay away from it so I don't get hit by that small AoE that it has. Okay, I have nothing to block it, so I'm just gonna run. I don't really have a choice. Okay, Guardian's out. Now you never want to stand, like, unless you're a Dragon Knight, you don't want to stand directly in front of him because the two-handed sword actually has a small AoE. It's not a single target damage. It's actually a tiny little AoE arc in front of the knight. Okay, I'm gonna steer clear of him. Oh. See if I can get it onto the Guardian. Maybe not. Works for me. Okay, so now my cooldowns are messed up, so I'm gonna back off and let my cooldowns reset. Just gonna jump, put the Guardian there. Now, next one is Ice, which is fine. He's dead. Doesn't really matter where he is. So remember, the next wave that follows after this, there's going to be 4 knights that are going to spawn simultaneously along with a whole batch of monsters. So if possible, try to exit the fight with this last dude with as many of your skills ready to go as possible, because otherwise you might just regret it because you don't have something that you need. You also probably don't want to stand like dead center if possible. You know, minimize how many ground breakers you have to take to the face. It really helps to keep you alive. And obviously be prepared to run at a moment's notice when things look like they're about to go sideways. Standing still and fighting in here is probably a pretty bad idea, even if you are melee, unless you are exceedingly tanky, but then if you are, I kind of question how you're going to kill anything in here. Oh, is there actually 5? No, there's 4 of them plus a squire. Okay. Guardian's not going to survive very long. I don't think I have very many things left to mind control, so I just have to be careful. There's no other way around it. And to keep your potion use down, make sure you make good use of those health orbs. I would say opportune use at the right moments. Okay, so now I'm down to 3 dudes following me. I think if possible I want to try and leave the squire to last. Obviously very difficult because I have just AoE attacks for the most part. Please, loot, you are in my way. Let's get all this out of the way. This is why I really want to push for an auto loot feature. Can you imagine if I had auto loot, this would not even be an issue. I could actually focus on combat instead of... Oh, I need to pick up this book over here, which actually I will end up selling for coin anyways, so... Like, why can't I just... Oh, something expired. I think that was my damage buff, so I should be fine, just the fight's gonna take a bit longer. Okay. We're all dead. Now, this is the last wave, so you want to stay away from the center, and that includes your summons. So, unfortunately, I might lose those 4 items. That's a sacrifice I'm willing to make. This guy has, from what I can tell when I'm not running away from him, he has a silence skill, like he puts down a silence pool. So, I really don't want to get hit because I'm not sure I can actually survive the blow. Pretty sure I'm likely to die. Let's not find out. Okay, so put that out over there. Wait for him to switch aggro. Okay. Now here's the thing. I know Guardian's not going to survive him very long. Well, I survived the hit. But Guardian's not going to survive very many hits. So whatever I can do to help my Guardian stay alive, slowing him down, stunning him whenever possible, that is great. Now, the next question I had is this guy actually immune to stuns? Because if he is, then I might be royally screwed. Okay, he is. He actually is immune to stuns. Okay. And in which case we'll have to opt for slow stack. So we do this. We stack 2 slows on him and decrease... Oh, he went Dragonhide route. The moment he has Dragonhide, he breaks free of all the slows. He's free of all the taunts from the Guardian, so I need to get away. Let's put down Guardian right there. He's gonna jump onto him. Meteor lands on his head. And there we go, we have it! Did this video help you guys out with your next run of the Battlegrounds? If it did, leave a like and subscribe. The next regularly scheduled video will release this Thursday, and it covers King Herodor of the Parallel Worlds.